Every week, I will have the pleasure to sit down with Midway football coach Joe Gillespie in his second year with the Panthers. Last year, 7-4, lost to Waxahachie in the first round of the playoff, and they've now been back-to-back to the playoffs, and Midway trying to now take it to the next level, and we're joined by Joe Gillespie, head coach at Midway. Isn't that you kind of have to walk before you jog, before you run, and at least it's been stabilized, back to where at least Midway's expectations are being a playoff team.
Absolutely. And, we had a great all season, and I think last year, gave us a good foundation on who we want to be and what we're building on. And certainly we're excited about getting to build off of that foundation. The kids had a great, all season, great summer, strength and conditioning, and a really good fall camp. And, the fortunate thing is, we know a little bit more right now than what we knew this time last year. We have a little bit more confidence in who we are and what we're doing schematically, in all three phases of the game: offense, defense, special teams. And, the kids are excited. We're excited as coaches to go out and watch them perform but get out on that gridiron tomorrow evening and find out who we are and start creating that identity for this season.
Westwood last year, you thumped them really pretty good. And the games at Mary Hardin Baylor Crew Stadium, which is a gorgeous backdrop and setting in Belton, you beat them up pretty good. They've had a coaching change. Derek Ward, now the head coach. He's been around. He's from that area, I think Georgetown, but he's been in the Katy ISD system, Tompkins, Katy High. We know all about how good they've been. And so it's a new staff. You only get to watch them, I guess. You don't even know because the numbers are usually different in scrimmages.
Sure.
What do you know, if anything, about what you saw when they had their scrimmage?
Yeah, obviously, Derek Ward is a heck of a coach. And, I mean, he's got a lengthy bloodline. His dad was a Texas high school football coach. I mean, he's been a guy that has been in the locker rooms his whole life. And he knows a great deal of football. He's been a part of some great programs in the Katy area and stuff like that. And so, naturally, you're going to sit there and go back and look at the things that they've done and where he's been and what he's had success with. And but you also, from a high school standpoint, you inherit. You don't get to recruit, and so you sit there and go with what you have. And so that's sometimes that dictates what you're doing offensively, defensively. From what we've gotten to see from a couple of scrimmages, they had 2 scrimmages. They didn't have spring ball, just like us. We've gotten to see a lot of 11 and 12 personnel formations. They've got a quarterback that's returning. They got a new running back. They got a number 4, the receiver is a returner from last year, which was a really good receiver for them. They had a receiver that was hurt, that didn't play against us game 1 last year, that came back later in the season and got to perform for them. He's a really good receiver. And so I think they're going to be very well balanced. My guess is well balanced from a run pass standpoint. Defensively, they got 8 returners. And so that's a lot of experience out there on the field. And they, they got some length at the corners, on the edges. And then they have a returning nose guard that's really, really good. And so it's going to be a good match for us game 1. And we're excited to get out there and see how we match up.
Their quarterback is back from last year. They struggled, obviously, quite a bit, but he's back. Norrell, I think is his name, the wide receiver, number 4, who's got a lot of catches from last year. So you have Josh Willis is your defensive coordinator. He's been a part of it. You know him. He knows the system with Josh Creech going to Louisiana Tech, which is awesome for him. He and I have traded some text. I like, oh, man. Remember last year, I remember when I first sat down with you guys, I was asking you about information, and Josh wasn't so sure about me. He was like, who is this guy? Then he and I ended up being great friends, and I'm so happy for him. Kevin Crane back, your offensive coordinator, and, man, you guys scored a lot of points last year. So Josh steps up, and then Kevin's back. How much does that continuity help any staff when you get to the continuity continues?
Well, I'm going to tell you, that's tremendous. And so, to keep the same offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, so to speak, because he was our safeties coach, we're running the same defense. You get to keep the same scheme. You get to keep the same verbiage, the lingo, everything, which becomes hard because you're not just talking about a Friday night football team talking about varsity, you're talking about in the entire program, and from 7th grade all the way up. And then, we're trying to extend this into our youth groups as well. And so, to sit there and be able to retain a lot of great coaches, and then we've added a lot of great coaches to our system as well that have had a lot of great success at a lot of different places. And so to bring in that experience and that winning tradition, and people want to be at Midway, and it still has, from an outsider point of view, people still look at Midway as a top tier program, and it is. And so, we're anxious and chomping at the bit to sit there and get it back on the map to where it belongs and bring that go ball back to us.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Another district championship. And last year again, Harker Heights, of course, with Coach Humble, what he does. And not just, Chad President is now the coach at Temple where he played. He was on the Midway staff for 1 year. Rodney Southern's now at Copper's Cove, and he had a great run at Belton, Marshall, Huntsville. So you have your quarterback back technically. Pullen was your starter, and then of course he had the devastating knee injury late in the year. But Andrew McNair steps in. First game he just tried to keep run the clock out.
Sure.
But then goes to Bryan, has an explosive game. Now he's on tape, and the last game wasn't very good. You guys didn't play as well. Your thoughts about at least the taste of that, both the toughness, the bad times, or the really kind of like wow times. How much does that help feeding over?
Well, I'm probably going to give you a little bit more than what you're asking for, but anytime, Andrew McNair is a phenomenal athlete. He's an athlete, and he's a good quarterback, but he's an athlete. This guy could go and play receiver for us. This guy could probably play tight end for us. He could turn around and probably play linebacker or one of our safeties for us. Mm-hmm. He's just a really good athlete, but he's also a talented quarterback as well. And he's a good run pass threat. But anytime, Andrew Cash Pullen was our trigger puller last year, and then he had the devastating injury. But you sit there and you get into a rhythm of a season, and we're sitting there trying to create, who we are and build that foundation and all that stuff. He didn't get quite the reps that you would want to have, at the beginning of the season, the first 4, 5, 6 games. And so anytime that that you're the guy, and that, man, they're going to put the pigskin in my hand and let me be the signal caller and control that huddle and lead our offense. That's a confidence builder in and of itself. And then for him to sit there and had gotten to go through those last 3.5 games of the season last year, regardless of the outcome or whatever, that's just getting that experience and being the guy. And now he's had an entire off season, entire summer to do all those things. And there's great competition at it. Our quarterback room right now, in comparison to this time last year, is so much better. And we're talking about Court Strickland, who could go in and lead this group just as easy as Andrew. Hudson Pierce, who is a guy that's young, and he needs, he was hurt, unfortunately, the vast majority of the season last year. But he's got an extremely high ceiling for him. And so we're excited about what that room looks like. But, the confidence that he'll have and the experience that he has it's irreplaceable.
It also doesn't hurt to have the kid behind him, that young man behind him,
no doubt.
Grown man in Lathan Wissington.
Sure.
And I know you have Scythe, who's a nice weapon in the passing game, among others too. I'm not trying to forget anybody, but to be able to hand the ball to Lathan is great. Hayden Wall does a nice job with your offensive line.
Yes, sir.
But everyone knows what Lathan Wissington is to your football team. So that means you're going to have to find ways to make sure that they don't have 11 guys trying to tackle him.
Absolutely. And I think Lathan got to experience it last year, and he's going to get to experience it again this year. Teams are going to sit there and load up the box, and they're going to try to stop, that guy. The fortunate thing that we have right now that I feel like is we got a good run pass threat out of the quarterback. And we have more than just one running back. We have several running backs that can go in and really contribute. When you sit there and you talk about Jaden Fields-Vaughn, who's more of a jitterbug, a scat back, he's a different creature than what Lathan is. Lathan is a bit more downhill. He'd rather run through you than around you. And then you sit there and you throw a scatty guy out there to him. It's a good 1-2 punch, and it gets hard for defenses, to sit there and defend some of that stuff. And so we're excited for those things to come about. And then just like I was saying, Andrew has the ability to hurt you with his feet, not just his arm or not just handing off as well. And so from being a defensive guy, more myself, anytime that I get a guy that can hurt you both ways, that gets hard to defend. And so we're excited about that, and look forward to seeing how this progresses through the course of the season. And obviously we're going to go out there and show some things early, but we're also going to hold some things in our holster and see what happens.
It's also fun to watch a guy like Jacoby Hamilton, who I saw make some plays during 7-on-7, grow up. He had like 6 or 7 catches last year, and see how the younger guys sprout their wings. Defensively, you got a lot of people back, and then again, you lost some key guys, but your defensive line's almost intact. Mayton is a monster, a fiery guy. Yep. Obviously, Chauncey King had the health issues. He's back. And then Kazuka got experience. Hudson King got some experience. Lane Alexander. I'm not trying to name the whole team off.
Sure.
But you got that front seven's got some salt to it, doesn't it?
They do. And just like you were saying, a lot of them got a lot of experience, whether that was due to, being a starter, now 2-3 year starter or whatever it may be, or, due to injuries. And they got a lot of experience. And we feel very confident that, whoever we go with and whoever the mix is, we can go out and execute. And there's a lot of confidence with them playing right now defensively. They understand what they're doing. They've had a solid year of this defense under their belt. And so anytime that you have that confidence, you tend to play fast, and you're not going to get paralyzed by analyzing. And so that helps you go win games.
How much does Satterfield, he's playing corner for you. He's the one that had the long kickoff return, and
yes, sir.
He's dangerous. Your special teams with Bustamante, who was really good, and he's been going to those camps. Zaboral, as far as the snaps are going to be good. He's gone to a lot of camps. But your kick return or punt return team, with having somebody that can take it all the way back.
And I think we got a couple of guys back there, but anytime that you get a guy like Jesse Satterfield, who's got the experience that he's gotten now and the success that he had, we're excited. I know that if I was the opposing team, I'm going to kick away from him on kickoff. If I'm the punt team, I'm going to punt that ball out of bounds. If you're going to give him an opportunity to return the ball, then there's some dynamic things that can happen. And so Jesse would be the first to sit there and add to this and just saying, there's 10 other guys out there that are doing some stuff, but he has some God-given gifts, and that, can be exciting.
Last thing, 3 games in a row, Thursday nights. You have 5 of them.
Yeah.
You're playing in some multi-district schools, so there's that Thursday, Friday. Killeen has that too. So you have Westwood and Belton. Rouse is down the road. You also have Cedar Ridge and Round Rock. So you're going to be out at Austin a couple of different times. So 3 Thursday night games in a row. How is that? That's very unique.
Very rare.
Yeah.
Very rare, very unique. And I hate sitting here saying this, but I'm going to go ahead and rat on myself. We had an opportunity to sit there and choose, since we were the home team at UMHB this year versus Westwood. We had a choice between a Thursday or a Friday night. And I chose Thursday, never knowing that we were going to pick up all these other Thursdays with all these other schools. That choice, that decision had to be made earlier. Had I known that, I probably would have played the cards a little bit differently. But these are the cards that we've been dealt. And so, we talk about it all the time as we don't view this as adversity. We're going to sit there and we're going to spin it to where this is going to be beneficial to us. And so we're going to understand how to play on Thursday nights, and not everybody has that. And, but the flip side to it is, and this is going to be, we're going to test our maturity a little bit as a football team, because we got so many of them in a row. How do we handle those situations? How do we handle those situations? And then on the flip side of it, you got school the next day.
Right.
And so we're going to have to go do those things. All of them are on the road. So there's going to be a big maturation process that goes through this.
Yeah, the one at Belton at UMHB is at least at like 30 minutes. The others are down in the Austin area. So 3 straight. Joe Gillespie, year number 2. Look good. I feel like there's a little bit of the anticipation. There's a lot of excitement on that campus. Baseball, softball, win state championships. That can carry over. That sure doesn't hurt either, right?
Absolutely. I mean, we're talking about, we're 6-8 weeks removed from a couple state championships that have been happening. We've got kids that play on our football team that were a part of that. Tyler South, Max Maiden, those guys that played for a state championship in baseball and won it. And so anytime that you have that stuff, I mean, it just breeds into all the other programs, and it breeds into, football, basketball, everything. It goes into academics. And so there's a buzz in the air, and we're excited to get it rolling.
I am too. We'll be on the air a lot of different ways this year, by the way. 106.7 FM, The Eagle on radio, Midway TV on home games. Rogue Media Network is going to have some sort of presence in a video way on the road. And then, of course, we'll have online streaming, which I shared with Brad Shelton at the athletic department, too. So we'll be all over the place. 6:30 pregame, 7 o'clock. And that's all the games, I think, are 7 this year.
Yes, sir.
So you get into that rhythm, too. 7 o'clock Thursday night at Crew Stadium, University of Mary Hardin Baylor in Belton. For Joe Gillespie, I'm David Smoke, and this is our weekly coaches segment right here on 365 Sports.